Alright, we have been sitting in the auxiliary gym for a little over an hour now, and we're on our last problem, problem 5, from the May 2011 paper 2. And we've got a geometry problem, and we know that there's going to be some trig involved, just the way they're giving us angles and sides of things that are going to be triangles. So we've got a piece of land, A, B, C, D, in a shape of a quadrilateral. Some side lengths are given and some angles are marked. And we're instructed that we're going to draw a line because we're going to have a fence from B to D. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw this line from B to D. Now I can clearly see that I've got two triangles. And Pauline's going to sell ABD. So let's just kind of get in our mind A to B to D. That's going to be, we're going to be doing something with that triangle probably in a little bit. The first question asks us to, in part A, calculate the length of the fence. So we're going to be calculating BD. I see that I've got a side, angle, side, and I know when I have side, angle, side that that's an appropriate use of the law of cosine. So the length of BD, I'm just going to do that calculation here, BD squared using the law of cosines is equal to 190 squared plus 120 squared minus 2 times 190 times 120 times the cosine of the angle. And I'm sorry, I'm putting this squish down here on the side. I wish I wasn't. Times the cosine of 75 degrees. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode by pressing the mode button, and that is equal to 197 meters. And we want to make sure for problems where we have units that we're including units. And in fact, the mark scheme for this problem indicates that you'll lose a point if you don't have the units clearly shown. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode for this kind of a problem. All right, now what are we going to ask? What are we asked to do next? We're given some information that a fence costs $17 per meter to build. We're going to calculate the cost of building the fence. Now, when we do this, we have to go back the 109, and this just seems absolutely crazy, the 197 is rounded to 3 sig fig. But when we're calculating the cost, we need to go back and use our unrounded values. So the unrounded value was, and what I would do is just use whatever was in your calculator. And so we're going to say 196,717, and you had more stuff in your calculator, times $17 per meter, and that's approximately equal to, no, not approximately equal to, $3,344 rounded to the nearest dollar. So they're telling us how to round, and we want to indicate either with a dollar sign or with the letters USD, US dollars, behind the value, again, units. Alright, show that the size of angle ABD is 18.8 degrees correct to 3 sig fig. Alright, where is angle ABD? So here's ABD. So I'm going to be showing that angle is, what did they say, 18.8 degrees. And I now know that this length of side B is 196.717. I'm going to work with those 3 decimals right there, and then I'm going to round at the end. So I've got, let's see, what information do I have here? I know this side and I want this angle, so I've got a side across from an angle, and I have another side. Here's another side across from an angle, so I have an appropriate use for the law of sines. So I know that the sine of angle ABD, and I can't call that angle B because, I don't know, there's 3 angles there that could be B. over 70, the side opposite, is equal to the sine of 115 degrees over 196.717. So that ends up with 18, when I do that calculation, 18.81. I got some more digits after that, and I'm going to round that to 8 degrees. Okay, cruising along here. Let's see, what do we have next? We did that on the other page. Calculate the area of triangle ABD. How did we kind of know that that was going to be something that we had to do? Well, let's think about our formula for area. Area is equal to 1/2, this is when we don't have a right triangle, 1/2 the two sides, AB, and then the sine of the included angle, AB sine C. So we're going to set that up. Let's go back and look at our diagram, and we want to calculate the area of, what are we looking for this time? We're looking for, sorry about that, area of triangle ABD. ABD, and we know this is 18.81, and we need two sides and an included angle. So we've got two sides. We need to figure out what this angle is, because to use the law of sines, we need an included angle. So we know that if this is 18.8, we're just going to leave that to 3 sig fig, then this angle, since they all add up to 180, is 46.2. Now I have two sides, here's side 1, here's side 2, and an included angle. So down here in part D, I'm going to say that the area is equal to 1/2 one side times the other side. And again, we're using these unrounded numbers and rounding at the end for our answers, times the sine of 46.2. So the area of that angle is 498. No, let's not do that. 49.70 with 3 sig fig. All right, are we getting close here? 49.70, that was this. 49.70, and our units are meters squared. And again, your works will be nice and organized on your lined paper with everything correctly labeled. All right. Pauline is going to sell her land for $120 per meter. So again, we go back and we use the unrounded figure, and we've got that was 4969.38. We've got whatever was in our calculator times $120 per square meter. So 596,327 US dollars. And we're going to leave that to the nearest dollar. And let's see what happens next. Pauline invests 300,000 US dollars from the sale of her land in a bank. We've got more compound interest. We're compounding interest annually, and she would like to end up with $600,000. So I'm going to actually do my calculation up here. She wants $600,000. She's going to invest $300,000. Oops. $300,000 with interest compounded annually. So we've got 1 plus the rate. Let's see. What are we figuring out? We're figuring out the interest rate. So we've got 1 plus the rate. She's going to be investing for 15 years. And since it's compounded annually, you can kind of imagine that there's an imaginary 1, but we don't need to write that. So we're going to calculate the rate, and we'll end up with, so divide both sides by 300. So 600,000 divided by 300,000 is 2, is equal to 1 plus the rate to the power of 15. Now, you can, in your calculator, there's a nth root button under Math, or you could raise both sides to the power of 1 over 15. I think that's probably what I'd do. So if I raise this to the power of 1 over 15, and can continue with the calculations, then the rate is equal to 4.73. All right, let's see. Am I finished? I am finished with paper 2.